I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and we're here for the fourth and final round at the 2017 United States Women's Disc Golf Championships presented by Prodigy. Our final round chase card action includes Valarie Jenkins, Finley, Kristin Tattar, and Lisa Fajkus. And our coverage this weekend brought to you in part by MVP Disc and the PDGA. Thank you for the support. We're here at Pine Oaks in Johnson City with a great card for you. If you'd like to support what I'm doing, feel free to go to patreon.com/thediscgolfguy. And our chase card is going off at 9 a.m. here at Pine Oaks. Hole 1, 474 feet. Lisa putting it out into the center of the fairway. There's a little bit of dew on the grass here, which with the scorching temperatures throughout the weekend, interesting to see that come morning time. Val Jenkins second to tee, and a very similar shot. And Kristin Tattar coming from Estonia. I believe she should get the furthest traveled award. And if I heard correctly, I believe she came pretty much just for this event so that she could compete. I think she will be sticking around to take part in the United States Disc Golf Championships in some capacity. She won't be playing, but she'll be here for that week as well. And Finley, our fourth to tee here. Lisa's going to bust out a forehand early here this morning, playing that up and around the bend. There's the basket perched just underneath the low-hanging tree branch that you can see. Finley has an uphill backhand, and just a bit low for Jenkins. She could have used a little more height on that. And Kristin also with a forehand here. Val Jenkins looking about 28 feet here. And off the front of the basket. That's good for a dot. Unfortunately, not the bird. Holly putting herself on the board right away here on hole number 1. And just squeaking it over the edge. Put down a birdie on the scorecard for Kristin. And one of my favorite putters in the game is Lisa Fajkus. She has a very specific routine, and it's very effective for her. We'll move on to hole 2. And with that birdie, Lisa extends her lead out in front of the rest of the card, namely Val, who's closest to her. And at 252 feet, there's a little bit of danger in front of the basket. However, these women should have no problem clearing the OB bunker area. Bunkers are just that. They are out of bounds for our professional women players. You play from where you land if you find yourself in a bunker, but then take the 1-stroke penalty. If you find yourself on a golf green, you are OB, and you bring it to where you were last in bounds. So slightly different. And the cart paths, for the most part, I'm going to say are not out of bounds. You'll see a lot of play back and forth as Holly is a little bit short on her effort. Kristin's got to take a knee and get underneath that branch, and she still has a smile on her face. She knew that was a difficult putt. And Val Jenkins gets her first birdie of the round. Lisa wants to follow up her opening birdie with another. And she's done just that. So great start for Lisa. Back-to-back birdies. And Finley will just have 10 or so feet for cleanup. I'm not sure what kind of camouflage that is, but I think she was trying to blend in with all the other colors found out there during this early morning round. Kristin and Holly with the pars. So off to a great start are Lisa Fajkus, and the rest of the card. Everybody's got at least one birdie. Moving over to hole 3. 324 feet. I feel like it plays a little bit longer. It is just ever so slightly uphill. I'm not sure if it's that. It just seemed as if it played a little bit longer than the 324 it's marked at. And playing this out and wide. And I think at one point I kind of lose it, and I'm going to be really surprised by where that ultimately finishes. And Holly's is dipping hard to the left side. Well, Michael Joe action on the bag. Holly with a long approach. And finding herself way down. Apparently there's a hill over there that she very much carried all the way down. And in rapid fire mode, we have both Holly and Lisa throwing their approach shots relatively quickly here for me. And Val here is faced with a similar low ceiling that we saw in the previous hole. Maybe I bet you a squirrel jumped out and knocked that down. That's what happened. Oh, Val cleans up. So she's still going to walk away with the par. In fact, looks like all of the women here, barring a complete gaffe, should be moving along with their par 3 here on hole number 3. This is a beautiful course with lots of birdie opportunities. And we're going to see if there's any shifting from either our chase card or on the lead card as the action heats up. Hole number 4 coming in at just about 450 feet. And really, you just want to throw it as far as you can. You should have a relatively easy approach to the basket there. Not a lot of different things you could do to screw this up, because I feel like even if you go straight or pull it to the right, as long as you're staying out of any kind of bunkers or anything else silly out there, you shouldn't have any problems. Looks like that was a little bit too much of a turn and came out with a little extra Anheuser. Again, it shouldn't be too punishing. Holly winds up and throws a solid shot out there. Kristin's going to rely on a forehand here. And a great one at that. Gets a little reverse skip action. Lisa plays this to the right side, letting it just fade to the pin. Very well executed. I guess Holly could have flirted with that tree branch just a bit much, but looks like she went through unscathed. And Val with the long drive in the group. I believe that's a dot. No problems for Lisa. So 4 very solid approaches here for the women on our 4th hole. Should be routine cleanup. Kristin's also in, and I'm going to spoil it. I think Holly's going to make it as well. Well, wearing a lot of yellow. Lots of yellow, lots of shades. There's got to be a story. We'll get to the bottom of that. Moving over to hole 5 as I again thank MVP and Axiom Disc for their support here of the women's coverage this weekend. This hole comes in at 273 feet, and You're basically on the infield of a racetrack. Off to the right and to the left over the cart path is out of bounds. Deep of the cart path behind the basket is out of bounds. So you're really on the inside of a racetrack, trying to keep it in the entire time. I don't have any updated IndyCar or NASCAR references here. Otherwise, I'd bust one out on you guys. But that'd just probably make me look silly. And Finley's short, so she's going to have some work to do here. And does not convert. Kristin lines up from about the same distance. Gets a little bit of metal, but that's not going to be quite enough. Bang! Another great putt by Lisa. Starting off very strong here this morning. And Valarie Jenkins from about 22 feet, maybe 24 feet, can't get it to convert. And it looks like Lisa's going to take the sole birdie here. And these women are going to have to do something to keep up with her. Lisa is trying to run away with it. Here's a par 4, 483 feet. All credit to Nate Doss. I wander around the park sometimes just aimlessly, and then brilliant people like Nate say, yeah, this might be a good idea to go get it from the catch, as in where the disc is landing. I had contemplated it, and thanks, Nate. Had you not urged me to move down here, this video would have been just about useless. So I hope this constitutes as your executive producer credits, as we're watching Kristin as the third woman to throw. Looks to have the longest drive in the group. And this is Holly. And she's coming at me, but comes up just a bit short. All four inbounds. Holly would be the first to approach. Relatively simple approach shots here. Holly making it look very easy. The cart path is not out of bounds, so you have a pretty open area to throw to. It's just a matter of getting it up, nestling it right up near that basket. And a great approach shot there by Valarie Jenkins. And just about this time is when we start looking at some of the scores from the leader card, and we see that both Sarah Holcomb and Paige Pierce have started out on fire, missing very few shots. In fact, Holcomb at this point has not missed a single hole. She has birdied every hole. So if anyone from this chase card is trying to catch them, they're going to have to play some exceptional golf. Lisa with her imaginary Kickstarter. Bang. No problem. Lisa off to a tremendous start here. I believe that's 5 birdies in 6 holes. That's pretty darn good. Holly racking up another birdie, and Val right next to the basket. No problems for her as well. And for the second time, if these guys were playing Connect 4, I think we'd have 2 winners already. Holes number 4 and 6. And able to really let one rip here as the basket is down kind of near where we actually just saw Lisa's throw. Val's going to take a slightly different approach here. She's going to give it more of an Anheuser line at this downhill pin. And you'll see the basket. She is left of the pin, just about pin high. Some would consider this a, I don't know, I'll go as far as almost saying a generous par 4. Soft, if I'm quoting the famous Nate Sexton, perhaps. And Finley's turned it over, leaving her a little bit more work than the rest of the card. And then just not getting it far enough to the right. Probably thinking about the tree a little bit. Solid approach shot there by Lisa. And with a very unique forehand, standstill forehand, Kristin is very effective for sure. Well, Val's claiming a dot. Anytime you draw any medal during a birdie attempt, that's commonly referred to as a dot. A fun little game that you frequently see, that you frequently see during some of the women's events, namely the Daisy Chains, one of the largest women's event in the country. And it's a good way that we see lightheartedness on the course, and that's not good for Holly Finley. She misses the comebacker. Hey, that chair didn't do anything to you, Holly. And she'll tap in. So a little hiccup there by Finley. Kristin with the birdie, as is Jenkins. And they keep filling up this card with birdies. We move over to an island hole, and not getting up on top and getting the nasty red flag is Lisa. That means she's going to move to a drop zone. And Val's going to adjust slightly, play it to the right, and put herself within 15, maybe 18 feet of the pin, directly behind it. This is the shortest hole that the women will play on this course at 180 feet. However, still plenty of challenge, because if you do not land on the island green, you go directly to the drop zone. Do not collect birdie. And we've got Lisa. This is an uphill shot, and a good one at that, but unfortunately that's going to be a little bit of a hiccup as well. Kristin benefiting here from the worm or snake cam. And Val is in. So 3 birdies, and Lisa with the unfortunate bogey. And with the beautiful downhill shot, claims to be 300. It seems as if it might be just a little bit longer, but Val trying to ring it up in 1, coming up just short of the pin. Kristin's going to play it wide, but not quite wide enough. That was also a good run at the pin. And Finley again turns it over. We've seen that a number of times. Just a little bit too much turn on a few of her drive. That one actually checks up and eventually comes back out of it a little bit for her. And that almost looked a little nose up right out of her hand by Lisa, making it stall out. She's going to have a long putt. She's looking at least 40, maybe 45 feet. But in the end, doesn't matter. The fine putting skills of Lisa Fajkus. Solid putt. Holly Finley does not draw any of the medal. This was the first time I've personally seen action on a Prodigy basket. They seem to catch very well throughout the weekend. And of course, Prodigy, again, your title sponsor here at the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championships. the largest women's event in PDGA history, nearing just about 160 women competitors. Holly, I was just talking up those baskets. They're great, but unfortunately just a bit low. That's a heartbreaker. She's going to walk away with a bogey. Kristin taps in for the par. It's been my pleasure. We're going to move to the back nine in just a moment.
Hey everybody, it's Valarie Jenkins here, and we're at the Pine Oaks Golf Course, and we're about to head out to the back nine. There's a lot of big shots, so let's see these ladies crush it.